Hello guys, this is Heavy Lead Enthusiast coming in today to talk to you about concealed carry and why. Why would you even do that? What's the whole point? It's a serious thing. Should you carry a gun or should you not? Well, I'm kind of here to answer some of those questions for you. Um, in terms of you carrying, you don't have to. If you're not comfortable doing it or you have no interest in doing it, then don't do it. It's totally up to you. I know for me, I got my concealed carry permit and I thought about it a year and I decided to do it. The reason being, I didn't want to, be at a restaurant with my family and some nut job comes in and tries to shoot up the place or, you know, have have some harm done to my family or myself, you know. And these kinds of things are very rare. Like, if I remember right, I think the chances of you actually having to use your gun in self defense is maybe 1 in 1 million. Don't quote me on that statistic. I'm no statistic guru by any means, but it's kind of one of those things. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. For concealed carry, it's a very serious deal because you have, if you really want to think about the basics and the fundamentals of it, you're carrying a gun that's loaded on you, and there's some choices you have to make in doing so. You have to have a cool, calm, collected behavior around people. You can't just get into fights or have road rage with traffic or anything of that sort. You don't want to draw up any conflict of any sort. You just want to, even if someone's mad at you, you want to just kind of, yeah, whatever. Like, just go with the flow. Don't cause any incidences, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, for my philosophy for concealed carry, why would I do it and how do you do it? Well, for me, I already kind of stated that, why I want to conceal carry, just for protection of myself and my family, because you never know in this crazy world. And I also want to mention for concealed carry, you want to carry something you can carry comfortably. If you don't have a gun that you can carry comfortably, you're not going to carry it. It's plain simple. You're going to find days where it's like, oh, I don't want to lug that 40-ounce gun around. Screw that. I'm just going to leave it at home. And that could be a day where you really needed it. I'm going to kind of go into what I carry. So this is a Ruger LCR 357, and my carry load for this is a 357 135 grain short barrel gold dot. And how I made that choice was basically it was probably the most effective round I could carry without me losing accuracy. Some people claim, oh, you need to carry the heaviest round you can and that you can shoot well. You kind of can use that philosophy. That's kind of what I use too, because I will tell you, in this gun I've shot some full house 158 grain loads and it feels like a mule just is smacking my hand. It really hurts. I shot like a whole cylinder and I said enough of that. I need to find something different to carry. So I went to this option and still fairly high recoiling, but it's not uncomfortable to shoot from me. I can shoot a few cylinders through it no problem. And I'm very accurate with this load. And that's the whole point of concealed carrying. If you're going to conceal carry, you want to train and practice to make sure you can actually hit what you're shooting. Because I think there's a little misconception where people will be told, oh, you need to carry like a 45 or 44 Magnum or for just these big calibers, and then they come to find out they can't shoot it. Well, what's the whole point of carrying if you need to protect yourself? You can't even shoot the dang gun. So that's one thing you need to consider. And the reason I went with this little snub nose is because I can conceal carry this year round and inside the waistband holster no matter what I'm wearing. I can wear a t-shirt, sweatshirt, doesn't matter. It's comfortable to me. I can move around in it good. It doesn't hinder me at all. Yeah, I only have 5 shots, but that's your choice. You need to make up how many rounds you're really going to need. You know, do I need 15 in the mag? Do I need multiple mags? Do I just need a snub nose? I mean, I'm not against semi-autos, by the way, guys. I think they're a great option too. I do have my preferences why I like a revolver better, and I'll get into that in a second. I just want to kind of go off tangent here. I do believe there's such a thing as cartridge effectiveness. The stopping power argument it's a little exaggerated. So people will claim, oh, you need to carry a 357 or a 44 Magnum or a 45 ACP or a 40 Smith and Wesson. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you can't shoot those calibers very well, there's no business you carrying that round. Because if you can't, it's just the fundamentals. If you can't hit what you're shooting at, you shouldn't carry that round, because you're better off to go to something like a 38 special or 380 auto in order to comfortably shoot something that's, trying to harm you. But the cartridge, it's always going to come down to the cartridge argument. People are always going to say, it's basically like models of cars, like, oh, Ford versus Chevy, oh, you need a Dodge, oh, you need a Toyota, whatever. My personal opinion, I think there is something gained if you do carry a heavier round. Is a 357 Magnum versus a 22, what's going to be more effective? A 357 Magnum, and that's not just because the bullet diameter is wider. I don't think you get hydrostatic shock per se in handgun rounds, but it must do something, because there's a significant difference in my experience shooting game or other targets compared to like a 22. I've actually shot on the farm. I've shot a raccoon that was eating corn and was getting into our cat food and stuff. I've shot a raccoon in the head with a 22 and it didn't even kill it. I shot one in the field one time with a 357, killed it on the spot. Enough of the animal gore anyways, but yeah, carry the biggest round you can shoot. If that's your philosophy, I am okay with that. And like I was telling you, I think there's cartridge effectiveness, but there's not too many bad calibers. As long as they can penetrate to a good depth, and I know a lot of people like to use ballistic gel media as a reference. You can use that. I think your minimum calibers, in my opinion, would be maybe a 22 Magnum out of a pistol. That's the lowest I would go, but this is just my opinion, guys. Maybe a 22 Magnum out of a pistol. But something I would say for people with recoil sensitivity, carry like a 380 auto or a 38 special. And you don't have to carry in something this small. You can carry like a 4-inch revolver if you can conceal it, because this is about concealed carry today. But yeah, you can carry those calibers. I also like 9mm, 357, 44 special, 44 Magnum, and 45 ACP. I think 45 ACP is a great round. If you're in the semi-auto world, I actually used to be a big semi-auto fan. My first gun was a Glock 19, but I transitioned to a revolver, and here's the reasons why I like this better. It's more comfortable for me because this grip doesn't just dig into my side. I tried carrying a Glock 19, just testing it out with different kinds of holsters inside the waistband, outside. I think it was a paddle holster if I remember right. Other positions on my body was just uncomfortable because that grip for me, and just to let you guys know, I'm a 6'3" giant here, live in the Midwest, corn-fed hillbilly practically, but the grip on Glock 19 just would dig into my kidneys and just make it uncomfortable. If I carry something like this, it is very comfortable, and I have no problem carrying it every day. So that's just one of the big reasons I transitioned to a revolver. And I've also learned shooting revolvers will increase your accuracy, because by the way, this is safety check, this is unloaded, but that long, heavy trigger pull will just help increase your accuracy and your fundamentals and your trigger control. Because I think what I used to do when I shot semi-auto is I just jerk that trigger, you know, and then move the gun as I'm doing it. So worst comes worst, you don't want to carry a revolver if you want to increase your accuracy and trigger control. I think this is an excellent option. Get yourself a little snubby or 4-inch revolver and go to work. I also want to mention for concealed carry, I like to, if you do not have a weapon mounted light, I would recommend carrying a little pen light. So like this is a stream light. I think it's like 20 bucks on Amazon, and it's just a good option to have in your arsenal. Not your arsenal, but something you carry every day in order to see in some dark places. You could also carry like a multi-tool or something of that nature. Just a good EDC habit to get into. So I know some of you might be thinking, well, if you're going to carry a snub nose 357, why don't you just carry a 9mm? Well, I've already stated why I like the revolver better. Well, some of you might say, well, they make 9mm revolvers. Why don't you just carry one of those? This thing, this 357, even with the short barrel ammo, is going to be just as effective as like a 5-inch 9mm. I will tell you why. I've shot these rounds over a chronograph. I think I was getting, 1175, just shy of 1200 feet per second out of a 135 grain bullet. And that is at the bare minimum at least as effective as a full size 9mm. If you put a 9mm in this size, I guarantee you're not going to get 1200 feet per second out of a 135 grain bullet. Maybe a 124 or so. You're kind of in that range, but you know, any added power I can shoot comfortably, I'm going to utilize. And by the way, guys, I'm not against 9mm either. Another thing that kind of bothers me is, like I kind of talked about briefly, you know, all handgun calibers are similar. The only way you get true stopping power is if you go to a rifle. Well, kind of, sort of. So with a rifle, you do get way more power, and a shotgun, by the way, too. You just make massive holes, like with, you know, buckshot at close range, or you get hydrostatic shock with a rifle. I think 2,000 feet per second or over. I still think, you know, when you're shooting something, the higher up in muzzle energy and caliber you go, the more effective the round is. So if we were going to use the same logic as some of those people, you know, all handgun calibers are the same, like 9mm, 38, 40 Smith & Wesson, 45. If that was true, then a 22 long rifle would fare basically the same. And that just doesn't make any sense to me. Just in my experience alone, you guys might have different opinions on that, but I think the two low ball calibers to get into, I'm talking about 38 special standard pressure, by the way, would be a 380 auto, 38 special standard pressure. 38 special plus P is a good jump ahead. Well, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put a comment down below. And don't be afraid to tell me what you guys carry if you're comfortable doing that. And tell me, guys, all about the philosophy and ideas you have. That is my video, guys. I hope you like, share, and subscribe. And that will be all for today. Have a good one.